You really almost need a freakishly broad range of competencies.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be part lawyer, part engineer, part plumber, part chef, part finance guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it really, it's such a freakishly broad range of things you need to understand to really be able to navigate it effectively.
Yeah. And if you didn't have enough from a business perspective, you just recently became or elected first selectman of Stonington.
Correct.
Hands in the air, let the rhythm flow. Ooh, let it flow. Together we rise, let the good vibes grow. Community conversations, yeah.
321 Media and the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce are here for another edition of Community Conversations. I'm Bruce Flax, president of the Chamber, and I'm here at Andiamo with Bill Middleton.
Hello, Bruce.
Bill, nice to see you.
Nice to see you as ever.
So just to set the stage a little bit, you, with Cannonball Management, have Andiamo, Rio Salado, Jealous Monk, Jeremiah's, Taco-Rio?
Correct, and Sleigh Station this time of year. Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
So, and you are the owner.
Yep.
So if you can talk a little bit about how you came to Mystic and developed all of this.
How I came to Mystic, I showed up here in 1995. I was in the investment business then. I was a partner in a small firm in New York. So I was living north of Boston, but needed to move a little closer to the city. So this was where I landed. And then I was in the investment business until almost 2018. Built Jealous Monk in 2016. Rio Salado in 2019, and then we turned the old Friendlies here that we're in now into Andiamo, and we opened that in December of 2022, and had opened what is now Taco-Rio prior to that, and then most recently, late last summer, we added Jeremiah's in downtown Mystic.
I mean, that's pretty much it's a pretty big whirlwind. Like a lot going on in
just under 10 years.
Yeah.
It's been busy, and we're also renovating what had originally been built as the old Mystic Motor Lodge behind Andiamo here, and we're looking forward to that opening in the next few months.
If you were looking back on like 2016 when you first started with Jealous Monk, would you have predicted all of this?
Not even a little bit. It certainly wasn't part of any great and grand plan. It was just sort of opportunities as they came up.
Yeah, and once you once you did the taste with Jealous Monk, you just liked it so much that you like the challenge, or
well, we sort of, I joke that my favorite game is while I'm at it, so we sort of had figured out what we were doing, and the space across the street that is now Rio was coming available, so that seemed just like a logical next move. And then COVID came along, and, crisis creates opportunity, right? So that really made Andiamo and Taco-Rio possible.
And do you like, they're very dynamically different, like different kinds of foods, different kind of...
Right.
Is that part of the challenge?
It's part of the challenge, part of the opportunity, right? I mean, in a sense, you're sort of competing with yourself, right? So you try to take that market and slice and dice it to an extent. And it's been very interesting. I mean, people that are dedicated regulars, for instance, at Rio, have never been to Jealous Monk, and it's just not their thing. And vice versa, or people that go to Andiamo would just never go to Taco-Rio.
Yeah. And when you saw the Friendlies, go away,
Yep.
did you immediately have the Andiamo in vision, or did it? Because to paint that, it's painted red,
Yep.
which is it's a statement.
Yeah, it's a bit bold.
Yeah.
Got a little community reaction at first, as did actually Taco-Rio when we first painted that blue. But people get used to it pretty quickly. But it did. I always look around when it comes to a new place, and it's sort of what's not here. What's the market looking for? It's not about me and what I like. It's really about what's the community after, what's not being served.
Yeah, and I think that there definitely is diversity in what you have built,
Yeah.
including adding on a hotel.
Yeah.
Motel.
Yeah, the motel. So we call it a boutique motel. So it was originally built in 1965, like myself. So we did a complete gut renovation, as I probably need. So it's been a few years long process, but I think will be worth it. It'll be really interesting. We've been able to really turn it into a very green property in terms of its sort of state-of-the-art HVAC. We have a 160 kilowatt solar system on the roof. It will be a completely carbon-free building.
Oh, that's great.
So really, up to a standard. We did everything you could possibly do to a building. We have a fun pool, hot tub, fire pit deck right outside the lobby. So it'll be, I think, a neat attraction.
And is it like the rooms are going to be, because you say it's boutique,
Yeah.
does that mean that it's small or class, like higher end or?
Higher end, smaller.
Yep.
So it's called the Commodore. So we'll evoke a little bit of a sort of mid-century, boating feel. So the rooms will be something like a cabin. So not necessarily spacious, but very well appointed.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then with Jeremiah's, which opened September maybe?
Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
That was a quick turnaround too.
It was a quick turnaround because that one had been an operating restaurant prior.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the lengthy renovation project that Rio Salado and Andiamo here had become.
Do you take something from each project with you to the next, like things that you've learned, like is it continually building?
My great goal in life is to make different mistakes. So, you do learn a lot, and you sort of build on that, and that helps a lot. As you get into building restaurants, there's some very arcane, specialized things, and once you've done it a few times, sort of the shortcuts.
It's funny you mentioned that. The community has an opinion, like about the red and the blue, but our community in particular has very strong opinions. And I know that I'm sure that when you took over Jeremiah's, as with everything, you've heard about it.
Yeah, I mean that's and they're all well received. I mean, you will, occasionally get somebody's very strong opinion on a color or a design item or something like that, but for the most part, we've been, extremely lucky and very, very well received.
Yeah, I think that each restaurant and property that you have is contributes to the community. Like it has its place, it has its groups who come.
Well, and that's really the idea. I always say it takes a restaurant a while to find its tribe. And people need to change their migratory paths and whatnot. And that's really what you're doing. Is creating a community gathering place. I mean, at the end of the day, we're not doing anything you couldn't do at home. You can go to the grocery store, you can sit at home, but that's not really what you're there for, right? It becomes this sort of social node and interaction point. Whether it's just, casually, for example, at Jealous Monk, we I don't want to say forced it, but it's almost a forced social interaction in that we have the large common tables. When we first did that, people said that'll never work. People don't want to sit with strangers. But, after they started doing it, I mean, we had people sitting together that had never met each other, and by the end of lunch or dinner, they were going on vacation together.
Right.
So that's really the mark of success, right?
Yeah.
Is that it's really just that central meeting place. I mean, it's one of the most important social things we do is share food.
Yeah.
Right.
And for all of these projects that you've done, what is your go-to advice? What if you had advice for somebody?
Be patient and think through every detail. It really matters. I mean, in a sense, restaurants are very complex buildings, right? There's a lot of different systems that have to hang together. So you really need to think that through, and you can't just sort of go in and shoot from the hip.
Yeah, when we're talking about, like, even from the chamber perspective, when we're talking about small business and what people do, unless you're in it, I don't think people have any idea how complicated and time consuming and what you need to put into it, and even just where the margins are and that kind of thing, and how you make your money.
You really almost need a freakishly broad range of competencies.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be part lawyer, part engineer, part plumber, part chef, part finance guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it really, it's such a freakishly broad range of things you need to understand to really be able to navigate it effectively.
Yeah. And if you didn't have enough from a business perspective, you just recently became elected first selectman of Stonington.
Correct.
How's that going?
Pretty well, actually. It's been interesting. Enjoyed the campaign process and getting to understand people and the issues, which, I was certainly, I think, familiar with a lot of them. But people's different perspectives on things, and that ability to talk to people. And I always say one of the greatest outcomes of any conversation is, gee, I never thought of that before. And that happens. So we're lucky here in Stonington. It's in a sense maybe the most democratic process going, because everything is a town meeting. Every meeting is available to the public. It's a very, very participatory process. I mean, we have roughly 35 boards and commissions, which each have lots of people on them. So it's a very broadly engaging process. So it's been interesting, and to be able to, run across some of these issues I've been familiar with and actually try to move them along and come to a solution.
Well, I think I think that we take for granted that from the political side of things, in terms of like the boards and commissions, that they're all volunteers.
Yes, and that's a good point. I mean, it's funny, you talk to people, and as participatory as it is, it's really kind of fascinating how little people really understand. Mm-hmm. And when you tell them, as you point out, that all these boards and commissions are volunteer.
Yeah.
I mean, they're stunned. The people on planning and zoning or the police commission, none of those are compensated, and they give enormous amounts of time and expertise and effort, and a lot of times take a lot of slings and arrows for discussions and decisions.
Yeah, I mean, having been the mayor in Groton and serving on their council, you don't realize until you're in it the passion of people and how emotional they can get in terms of some of the issues, and then realizing that they are and like the boards and commissions are volunteers, and the people who are coming to meetings and speaking up do it for the most part because they care. Yeah, no,
it's really the extent to which people care, want to be engaged, and really in town hall, the town hall employees, just really dedicated professionals.
Yeah.
Which is really great. We're very lucky to have them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that in terms of what you bring to the community, and just from a business perspective, and now as first selectman, we're lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you.
And I think that, like you said, like if you can come out of a conversation with, gee, I learned something, or learning something new, like not being afraid to, I think we're cut from the same cloth in that respect, like not being afraid to say, oh, I didn't know that, or let me think about that, can pivot and change and not be tied to.
Yeah, and there's sides of issues that you'd never really considered, and that's probably the great learning, is there's, multiple aspects to all these issues.
Well, from the chamber standpoint, the town of Stonington has always been a great partner, and really thankful for not only the police, but Parks and Rec, and even Public Works, who help us on our events. So,
well, and I think we recognize that the chamber serves an important role that in many towns would be part of government, and I think the chamber here is somewhat unique in that, for Mystic, which is part of two towns, that the chamber serves as that sort of metaphorical bridge to kind of hold it all together and make it a cohesive whole.
No, it's a good community that we're in.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
Yeah. On that note, want to thank you for being with us on Community Conversations for 321 Media and the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. I want to say thanks, and we'll see you next episode.
Thank you.
Yeah.